What's going on, guys? This is a Standing 8 Count podcast. This is our second episode. We did really well last week. It actually went pretty smooth. Excited about it, but we got two panel members, very knowledgeable. Vaughn, go ahead and start off, man.
What's up, man? How y'all doing out there, man? I hope y'all had a good weekend, man. We had some pretty good fights this weekend. It's your boy Von Blues Boxing, man. You know to check me out on YouTube, Von Blues Boxing, and on Instagram, Von Blue.
All right, Mike, go ahead. True.
Okay, yeah, this is True Boxing, TRU Boxing. Yeah, and Instagram TRU _boxing. So just jump right into it, Ray.
Yeah, go ahead and jump real quick though. True.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you guys see the screen, I got both guys YouTube's put up on the screen right now, so just make sure you guys go catch those guys. Very knowledgeable on both sides. But go ahead, True. Let us know. It's a crazy weekend, man. It's been a busy weekend. Let us know how it went, man.
Yeah, so we'll get back. We'll get into the. Sorry, guys. Okay. We'll get into the Friday card. They had ES on DAZN. I'm sorry. Billy Joe Saunders defended his 168-pound super middleweight title against veteran Martin Murray. Pretty much what everybody thought it was going to be. Martin Murray, was his fifth and final title shot, pretty much, and Saunders got a clean 12-round unanimous decision. Didn't really have any trouble with them. Just cleanly outboxed them. Martin Murray had some moments, but nothing big. And Saunders easy 12-round unanimous decision, pretty much. And Martin Murray likely his last fight. So
you think so? How old is Martin Murray right now?
38.
38. It's not too many boxers to hang around past 38. I mean, what old is Triple G?
Triple G's 38, but Triple G is way better
different breed.
And in the miles, not as many miles on his.
So, back to him. When do you think guys should hang it up? Is it just based on how good you are? I mean, we're going to talk about Pacquiao later on, looking toward the future. But when should a boxer? When does his prime start to decline?
That's a good question.
I'd say, probably. I think it depends on how good you are, but I'd say somewhere to like 33, 34, 35, I think is when the decline starts. I mean, if you're one of the prototypical Mexican boxers like Barrera, Morales, I mean, those dudes were done from all the wear and tear. They were done by 29, 30 years old. I mean, that they were old men by then. But really, I think, probably, I mean, look at Mayweather was still dominating at 35, 36, Pacquiao's 41 and still 42 now, and he's still one of the probably the best fighters in the world, to be honest. So it just really depends on the wear and tear that you put on yourself.
Well, that makes a good question, Vaughn. Maybe you can answer this. The style of fighting, does that have to do with how long you last in this sport?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's the way you fight and the way you is. I think that's a part of it. That's why Floyd Mayweather was able to last so long. And
Right.
Even though Manny, early in his career, he took more punishment, but when he got when Manny got like 32, 33, he started to become more defensive responsible.
Okay.
And I think the guys that last long is the guys that have, are good, who have good defense, who take care of themselves outside the ring too. You look at Bernard Hopkins. Hopkins was an excellent defensive fighter and stuff like that. And he also took care, and it's also how you take care of yourself.
Yeah, no doubt.
And outside the ring too. So
no doubt. Okay. So go ahead and finish, Mike, with that. Sorry to get you off.
I mean, if Vaughn, you wanna comment on the fight, go ahead, man. I'm pretty much done. I mean, Saunders, it really was what we expected. A clean 12-round unanimous decision, pretty much a shutout. So
so we had Anthony Yard and we had Lyndon Arthur. So Lyndon Arthur, he's he's from the UK, he's from England. And, he's a domestic level light heavyweight. And Anthony Yard is more of the known guy and, who seemed to be the better fighter on paper. But we had an upset. Lyndon Arthur won the fight, and the thing is with Anthony Yard, it's just he didn't have any answer for Lyndon Arthur's jab, and he didn't have any answers for, what Lyndon Arthur was doing. Like earlier on, Lyndon Arthur was a little aggressive, but Lyndon Arthur just stayed behind his jab, and pretty much just beat him with a jab. And his, trainer Tundi didn't really, they didn't really have a game outside of that, He won some rounds, but it was a little disappointing, because Anthony Yard was, coming out of the UK, and being a light heavyweight, he was, looked at as possibly, being a guy who could become a champion in the light heavyweight division, but he lost to Kovalev, and there was no shame in that, fighting Sergey Kovalev, going over there to Russia to fight him. There was no shame in losing to him, but this one hurts, because we don't really know what Anthony Yard really is. Is he a guy with real potential, or is he a guy that's just going to be a domestic UK type of light heavyweight
and
guy?
I think that's what happens in boxing is you don't want to fall into that realm of we don't know who you are. You know what I mean? It's like you can get lost in that. You know what I mean? It's like the minor leagues of baseball, man. If we don't know who you are and we keep saying that, eventually we're gonna get tired of saying that and just look the other way. Mike, you got any comments on that fight?
Yeah, I was really disappointed in Anthony Yard, man, because I really respected him after Kovalev. I know Kovalev's older fighter, but Kovalev can still bang with the best of them, man. That dude is a Hall of Famer right there. And for him in that fight with Kovalev last year, Yard had never been 12 rounds. He never been that deep in a fight, and he almost stopped Kovalev, in towards the middle rounds. But it was kind of sad. It was kind of sad when that happened because when he, because he was. There's a lot of promise after a fight like that for him. Like it really, a lot of people were really excited. Like, hey, if he can do that, he's got a great knockout ratio. But I told Vaughn, I said, hey, man, he better make sure he's got that stamina. And and it didn't really matter. Arthur just cleanly outboxed him, and just disappointing because the guy, he's got, like you said last week, people want to see bodies hit the canvas, man. People want to see knockouts. And Anthony Yard could provide that, and he has talent, but he just got beat, man. So
yeah, it's sad to say, man. Sad to say. Hopefully he'll be able to bounce back. What do we got next, Mike?
Yeah, so we'll get into the big Fox pay-per-view card now, and we'll kick it off with the first fight, which saw Eduardo Ramirez against Miguel Flores. And when they announced Flores as a replacement opponent for Julio Ceja, I was really impressed because I thought that was a really good replacement opponent, especially last minute. And so I was expecting a really good fight, and it wasn't bad, but man, what's his name? Ramirez, man. What a performance. That dude just, I noticed early on in the fight that Flores was the very first round, he was gonna have trouble with the little looping right hook that the southpaw Ramirez was throwing, and man, he caught him clean in the fifth round and knocked him out. That was just an impressive performance right there. It was a good little scrap up until then, but man, Ramirez looks like the real deal. He really does. That was a good performance.
And the question I got in that is, do you take the fight on a replacement? And I know these guys get paid, but are you at a disadvantage picking a replacement fighter? And it's almost like studying for a test, and then the day before they're saying, hey, you know what, you're gonna take this other test. I know you didn't study for it, but hey, you know what I mean? It's like, how do you as a boxer, how much does that throw you off?
It could, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you got it. No, you got it.
No, it could throw you off. It could go both ways. It could either it could be, easier fight for you because this guy hasn't had enough time to train, or a guy hasn't had enough time to kind of do film study and kind of try to figure out some of your things that you don't do well, so you can try to exploit it. But it can also go bad for you because you don't really know the opponent. You don't know what kind of, this man could have been training for weeks. He could have been, ready to go, ready to rock, and he just come in there and you weren't ready for him and he beats you. I've seen that happen too.
Yeah, no doubt.
Go ahead. True. Give a little thoughts on that too, True.
Yeah. Well, I totally agree with that, especially with a guy like Flores, because, Flores fought Leo Santa Cruz last year. If you fight some guy that's a complete nobody, then it's a less of a risk of being upset, even though you weren't fully prepared for him. But Flores, like me and Vaughn both agreed that was going to be, I thought it was going to be a very close fight. Vaughn predicted a draw because that's how even of a fight it looked like on paper.
On paper.
And, yeah, for me, I thought Ramirez, he's good, but I was like, man, this is a tough opponent as a replacement. So, man, for him to come out and have a performance like that was just fucking impressive. Excuse my language, sorry.
No, it's all good. No, it's all good. You're passionate about it, you get a pass, man. But yeah, no doubt, I always felt there's a risk in it. Just like you guys said, it's one of those mentalities. I beat you, it's because I'm supposed to. You beat me, billboards, posters. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. It's like it leans more on the guy that already has a fight booked to be the victor. I always felt,
Put more pressure on him. Yeah,
Yeah. So, all right. So we on to the main event. We got one more fight.
We got one
Now
more
we got
fight. We got the
two more.
co-main event.
Okay, co-main event. Let's go. Let's hear it, Vaughn.
All right. So in the co-main event, we had Sebastian Fundora, 6'6", fighting at 54 pounds. I know I always say it, but man,
This
that's
guy's
crazy.
huge, man.
But and against Habib Ahmed, I forgot Habib Ahmed fought somebody that was notable. He lost to. I remember that fight. I just
Gilberto
don't remember the
Ramirez.
name. Huh?
Gilberto Ramirez, that light
Yep.
heavyweight, he fought for the
Yeah.
title.
Yeah. So thank you, True. You're on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and this was a WBC title eliminator, and Fundora looked impressive. He did what he was supposed to do. He got Habib out of there. He didn't waste no time. He didn't sit there. I mean, he was just on point. He used his jab first, like 30, 40 seconds, first minute. He just used his range, used his jab, let Hamid step in, bam, catch him with hooks, catch him with counter check hooks and stuff like that. And he basically did what he was supposed to do. He got Habib up out of there. And it was impressive the way he did it. I mean, did he even get hit? True.
Barely.
Barely. I mean, maybe on his elbows a couple times. Like, he barely got hit. And True called that. I said the 6th round, he got him out of there. True was like maybe 1 or 2 rounds. And he did that.
Well, I changed that pick because of the opponent. I assumed that Ahmed wasn't going to be able to come down that much because he's fought his whole career between 160 and 168. So short notice, I figured they were going to meet at catchweight at like 160.
And he stopped too.
Yeah. Oh man. So yeah, that was impressive. I mean, Ray, this guy. I was watching him last night against this smaller guy, and Ahmed's not small. He's 6 feet. So I was watching.
Oh wow,
that and
I didn't know it.
Like no BS, Ray. This dude is straight scary to an opponent.
I'm looking at him right now. It's like the reach is like that's crazy. Like
he's a scary opponent.
Well, you look at from the top guy in the division, Jermell Charlo's 5'10".
Wow.
And he's number 1 in the division. Charlo, I don't blame him if he ducks this fool because this dude just I don't know how anybody's gonna hit him clean.
He's a cheat code pretty much. Huh?
Duck nothing.
Yeah.
To be that tall at that weight is ridiculous.
I'm not saying Jermell doesn't take the fight at some point, but I ain't gonna blame him if he don't.
Hey, one thing I'm gonna tell you like this, True. Jamel ain't in no rush for it though. He is in no rush. Well, yeah. But so it puts him. So my bad. So it puts Sebastian Fundora, but he basically in the WBC title shot. But Erickson Lubin is there. He's the mandatory for it. So it's to see if Fundora. I mean, is it possible? Do you think True Fundora and Lubin will fight each other?
Well, I'm a little confused because it said WBC last
title
week.
Eliminator.
That's what I was reading. But last night on the screen for the Ramirez and for the Fundora fight, it said WBA final eliminator. So I was a little confused by that. But back to the question, Lubin, I mean, Lubin's trying to get himself back in line. I mean, if it's a mandatory fight, I'm not sure Lubin wants that smoke, man. I don't know. I don't know. I got to give props. I got to give props to anybody in the top 10 that's willing to fight this kid, man. I really do, because this kid just looks scary. He's
that's what I'm saying. Is he going to fall into that to the realm of being the dodge fighter? You know what I mean? Where guys just don't really want to see him. And so how does he counter that? Does he put more weight on to get at another division? What's his counter for that? Because it doesn't look
that's an idea. That's definitely an idea right there to move up in weight. But to be honest,
go to 160.
He's not going to get as many fights, though, because there's not as many PBC fighters at 160. I mean, 154 is stacked with the guys for his network. So, I mean, the way you counter that is mandatory fights, and you just keep fighting.
Right.
You know, that's it. You fight who's willing to fight you, but you get a mandatory fight, go after a world title, force one of these champions like, hey, you fight me or you give up the belt. I mean, that's pretty much it.
So, right.
Another thing I wanted to add to that is Fundora is in a position where if he kind of just waits, him being a young man, he's in a good position, because Jermell Charlo, I think he's gonna wait for the winner of Castano and Teixeira, because Castano's with the PBC. You know what I'm saying? Brian Castano's with the winner, and I think Castano gonna beat Teixeira. That's just my. I watched Castano fight Castano. He's pretty good in junior middleweight, and I think if Jermell fights Castano for that title, unifies those titles, I think he's going to go up to 160, and his brother's going to go up to 168. I
Yeah.
seriously, I seriously think that's gonna open up the doors for Fedora. Like if he waits a year, I think that's gonna open the door up for him. But
Yeah, a lot can happen in a
true,
year.
Yep.
That's true. That's true. So this guy, he's a freak of nature, man. He looks like a cheat
yeah.
code, man. Honestly,
Oh, he is.
yeah, it's just one of those things. You just fall into that spot. I'm looking at him, man. That's just
True.
ridiculous,
What did I
man.
call him last night?
What did you say? Hold on, I gotta pull it up. It was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Oh, you had the Mexican Paul Williams, right?
Yeah,
Is he
the
from
Mexicano
Mexico or
Paul was.
where's he from?
He's from Coachella. I mean Coachella
Oh, okay,
Valley.
okay,
Yeah.
Okay,
okay.
okay, okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. All right. Well, that's going to, but definitely this is a guy we got to keep looking out for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
for sure, for sure. Okay, so we got the big fight up.
Well, there's
And
one more, right?
is there one more? Okay, okay. Let me know. Let me
Yeah,
know.
yeah. It was Josecito Lopez against Francisco Santana,
Got you. Got you.
and man, Lopez where is he getting? What is he drinking, man? This dude is just on
A
fire since the
fountain of
Thurman
youth,
fight.
baby.
So give me a little
I
background
mean,
from him, Mike. Give me a little background for the guys that don't know about
okay,
Lopez.
okay, so Josecito Lopez is like he's like your Arturo Gatti of nowadays. This guy
Mm-hmm.
used to be he used to be like a blood and guts warrior. He upset Victor Ortiz years ago
Mm-hmm.
and put himself in line, for bigger fights. And because he doesn't really have a threatening style, not big on power, he's been in there with Canelo, and other
Thurman.
good fighters. And most of the
Yeah.
time he's like that stepping stone guy. That's
Right,
what he
right,
was doing.
right.
And then last year he gets the shot at Keith Thurman. Now Keith Thurman hadn't been in the ring in almost 2 years, but still nobody thought he was going to compete against Thurman. That's why Thurman chose him for his comeback fight.
Uh huh.
And he almost knocked Thurman out. I mean, he in the seventh it ended up being a majority decision. Then he came back last year on the Spence Porter undercard, took on John Molina Jr. in what was another just like this fight. Last year, Molina and Lopez was like a 50-50, could go either way, gonna be a slugfest. And man, he just controlled the distance, he controlled the tempo, and he just broke down Molina and stopped him. And then Santana went 10 rounds with Jarrett
With Jarrett
Hurd
Hurd.
in January. And I definitely think it had something to do with him cutting down to 147, but still Lopez looked on fire. He put him down with a body shot in the first round, man, and just totally dominated him all the way through the fight. And so Lopez, I mean, whatever he's drinking, it's a good thing. He's at the very end of my top 10 in the best division in boxing, and this dude, he's gonna just continue to get bigger fights because his style doesn't seem too threatening. But people need to not take him lightly, man, anymore.
Nah.
He's looking good. But one thing I want to say about this fight, Ray,
Yeah.
I was disgusted with the refereeing.
Yeah.
Is this across the board or just this one?
No, just this one. This guy almost got Francisco Santana. I mean, he might be messed up. He got hit with a lot of top of the head shots, like forehead, side of the temple, and he couldn't even barely. He staggered back to his corner in the between the ninth and 10th round. I mean, the guy was just out on his feet, and in his corner too. They should be suspended, all of them, and
Yeah,
should
it
be
was
fired because
ridiculous.
they let him go back out for the 10th round, man. And you could tell Lopez at first wasn't trying to really hit
Get
him.
him
He
out
was
of
trying to
there.
hit him with body shots to
Uh
get him out of there. And I mean, man, the dude was messed up. And just because the referee told him step to this side and step to that side and come to me, just because he could do that, he let him fight. And man, that guy could have seriously got hurt, and he might have messed up. He might have had a serious concussion, man. I mean,
That's
horrible
tough. That's
refereeing.
tough. Yeah, and that sucks because you got it. Your job as a corner is to make sure that your fighter can fight another day, man. You know what I mean? It's definitely a balancing act. You know what I mean? Vaughn, what did you feel about the fight, man?
It was a good fight, but it's just Lopez just put it on him, man. You know what I'm saying? And he took too much punishment, like you true said. It was too much. I mean, they could have stopped it. What was the seventh round? What was that?
Yeah,
True. They
yeah,
could have stopped it in the
Wow.
seventh round, and
Wow.
it just. I mean, by the eighth or ninth, we was texting each other, True, and
yeah.
some of his buddies and stuff like that. We was texting each other, and we was just like, dude, stop the fight, man. Like,
Yeah, that's
God
pretty sad.
damn.
Yeah,
Like it's
Ray. When there's no title on the line,
Right.
and
nothing
and you've been
online.
and you've been getting dominated, bro. Like
Mm-hmm.
every round, and that's pretty much what happened. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Santana had a couple light moments, but
Yeah.
he was getting his ass kicked, man. And going into those late rounds, man. I'm actually disgusted with the Texas Athletic Commission because there's three people that are supposed to protect the fighter: the corner, the athletic
Mm-hmm.
commission. You got ring
And the
doctors
referee.
right
Right.
there.
Right.
You know, And then the referee, man, and all three of them dropped the ball on this, man. And that's the
Yeah.
thing. You don't want to see people get hurt, man. I
Yeah, no
mean,
doubt.
especially when they're getting their ass whipped, you know? So yeah.
Well, so,
They
so
got to
what?
come. They got to come up with a better thing for the fighter to signal to the referee that he can continue. Because this step to this side, step to that side. But you know that also has to do with it was a Texas referee. Like you had Lawrence Cole there, who's national. That guy can go to anything, and he's one of the best referees in boxing. He
Uh-huh.
did the main event, I believe, and or one of the top dogs did the main event. I saw Lawrence Cole in a couple fights, and they got to get those guys in every for the whole card, man. You got to
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
stop
Steve
trying
Willis's, Lawrence
yeah, you got
Cole's.
to stop trying these local guys because they really don't know what they're doing, man.
Well, you know what it is they're trying to. It's one of those, just like you said. It's like umpiring for the minor leagues versus the MLB. It's you got to get those guys ready for the big thing. But like you say, there's three people. If you for three people not to get it, yeah, you failed the boxer. You know what I mean? You know these boxers. You know they've got to where they're at with insanity and wanting to get better. So they're not going to tell you they can't make it. You know what I mean? So it's like it's definitely like something they got to be able to do. But yeah, that's something that I don't know. You think he'll be able to bounce back or?
Santana's he's a stepping stone guy. I mean, to be honest, I believe he's lost 5 of his last 6 fights. I
Oh
mean, this
man,
dude, yeah, I mean, he's just one of those guys. He's tough, but not really a threat. Never really was. He's just more of that, hey, if you can beat this guy, you can get to the next level type
right.
fighter. And
Yeah. And he'll come
maybe
and get a
he's
paycheck.
yeah, maybe he's done, man. I mean, after that beating he took, he probably made good money for getting on that pay-per-view. So you might need to call it in, man, you know.
So where do you see Lopez going from here?
Dude, I mean, he could do anything. He's
Oh, okay.
PBC guy. He could fight. I mean, somebody's going to be willing to fight him. Whether one of those top guys, like honestly, Danny Garcia is coming off the loss. Fight Lopez. I mean, it'd be a good fight.
Right.
Hey, that's true.
Yeah,
Good, true.
yeah. I mean, Mikey Garcia. Why not? If he can't land a Pacquiao fight, Mikey might fight him. That's the thing about Lopez. Lopez is going to get a fat paycheck next. Let's just say that, man. Whoever it is, doesn't matter. And he's willing to fight whoever. That's what I love about Lopez.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that sounds like a good fight.
Not just because we share the last name either.
Riverside Rocky.
Riverside Rocky. Okay. All right. So we got the main event, right? We done with that, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. This main event. Let me get my little piece on it real quick.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It's, how do I say this? It was a how do I say it? It was surgically did, man. You know what I mean? It's something that as a casual person you can actually appreciate. You know what I mean? So it from my outlook, that's what and he's not even, I don't even think he's 100%, but that's what boxing, what I look for, you know what I mean? And just it being surgical, you know what I mean? That's what I like. So Vaughn, what do you think about that fight, man?
Oh, it was a good fight, man. It's just Earl Spence was too sharp, too strong, too intelligent, and just too good.
Okay.
And Danny had some moments, but it's just Earl's jab. He was coming forward. I mean, he took some shots on the chin. Earl showed that his chin is fine. I mean, defensively, he did well. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the worst loss I've ever seen Danny Garcia have.
Okay.
In my opinion, that's the worst loss and the worst kind of like punishment he took. His face was all bruised up. I'm not gonna say he got washed, but Earl showed that he's still Earl Spence. Now there was some rust there. Earl even admitted after the fight, but I mean, Danny showed a lot of heart, and Danny is skilled. Earl had to fight smart, and Danny did land some good shots on him because I mean, on power shots they were equal, which was crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
How the fight went, it was crazy. I was like, damn, they was 100 on power shots. I was like, but it was a good fight. I mean, Danny, he came up short again, man. I mean, the thing is for Danny in that fight, what I said on my predictions, Danny needed to bag some rounds early. He needed to kind of try to be on the front foot and stuff like that. But that's not Danny's style. And that was the confirmation last night for me. Just like, nah, that's just not his style, man. Danny got he's a counterpuncher, man. That boy, Edwin is a pure counterpuncher. And, and I mean, it was tough to see, but at the same time, man, Earl Spence proved that he is the best welterweight in the world right now. I mean, I think coming off that type of injury and not having that long of a layoff and come out there and do what he did, man, I was impressed with Earl Spence last night. But yeah, so True, go ahead.
Yeah, what you think about Mike?
Well, Errol Spence, the greatest punch in boxing, the jab, the punch that is forgotten by
Yes.
most fighters.
Yes.
And I have a list of fighters that if they threw their damn jab, they would have won some major fights. Sugar Shane Mosley's one of them once he started moving up in weight. But Errol Spence just threw so many jabs. He was on point. I was just, I mean,
I
what an
like that
impressive
straight right hand to the
performance.
body. My bad.
Oh man, yeah, he
And that
was
left
just
hand.
every punch from every angle. He was throwing hooks.
Mm-hmm.
He was throwing everything, and he just stayed right up on Danny, which is dangerous. And
Yep.
he got hit a few times, and there was one uppercut late that Danny landed that Errol took a step back after he got hit with it, but he kept putting it on. It was like Danny couldn't breathe,
Nah,
Right.
he
and
never
Right.
give him a
and
moment.
and Errol was just on him, man. And like Vaughn said, to come off that badass car accident last year and to be this sharp. I mean, he said rust. I'm like, where? I mean, he
Well,
dominated.
I know, but
You
that,
know?
I mean, well, I guess what I see for Earl, because I know how Earl, and I know, like,
No,
why
Errol
is
even
that true?
said he had rust. Errol
Yeah,
even said he had rust. So
yeah.
yeah,
Earl said he had rust. He
yeah,
felt like he could be a little sharper. I was like, I mean, maybe, but Earl, I mean,
yeah.
he was sharp as a mug. Go
Oh
ahead,
yeah.
dude.
Oh, he dominated Danny. You're
Yeah.
right, man. I mean, I never seen Danny get beat up like that. And to be
Mm-hmm.
honest, there was some competitive rounds there, Ray.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But I honestly had it like I know two judges had it 8-4, and
Wait,
one
don't tell me
judge
what
had
you
it
had yet. We actually gonna touch on that. But tell me what the judges had.
Okay.
We're gonna get where you guys had
Yeah.
the scoring. But go ahead. Tell me what the judges had.
Judges had two judges had it 8-4, which was Vaughn's pick, and I believe the other judge had it 9-3.
Okay,
So,
so it's pretty
but
even.
yeah. I mean, well, you want to we'll get into the scoring after, but yeah, I mean, impressive. And you know what? I'll say this. I know I say Terrence Crawford's the best fighter at the welterweight division. I
Mm-hmm.
think these two guys lock up. I think Crawford still beats them, but
Mm-hmm.
in terms of what they've done. Because I go off of what you've done the last 3 calendar years. I think that's fair to
That's
see
fair.
what
That
you've
is
done.
fair.
Errol Spence has beaten so many good fighters the last 3 years, and I'm sorry, and it's really not Crawford's fault in terms of because
Nah.
he can't get the big fights on Top Rank, but that is irrelevant when you're comparing notes on who you've beaten in the last 3 years, and absolutely the way he dominated Danny, he's the number one welterweight in the world right now. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before we get into the scores, you made a comment about the jab. Man, what one thing I think people don't understand is the jab has to come with patience also. It's almost like body
Yeah.
shots, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
Vaughn, you said he had to steal rounds early, and which I thought was the best game plan you can come into. The favorite, do you go in there with your same mindset? Do you expect them to do something? Like what? How do you? I guess you could say when you're the favorite, your best weapon against a guy with a plan is a jab. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, it could be. It could be the best plan because, especially being Earl Spence and being the taller and longer and rangier guy, you definitely want to use your jab. Use the God given ability or the
Right.
physical, the physical thing that you have over this fighter. Use it. Use
Right.
your jab. Use your straight punches. I thought that would be smart for Earl because I was like, if Earl uses his straight punches, he's gonna always keep Danny in flux and he's gonna frustrate Danny and Danny's not going. He's gonna tear off, mess up his rhythm, and that's
Right.
what he did.
Right.
He threw a lot of straight punches. He didn't throw too many hooks. Earl would throw ones and when he felt he had opportunity, but he really threw a lot of straight punches, and that's what you
Yeah.
do. And like you said, a jab, like what's the name? True said, a jab can take you around the world.
Right. Yeah. 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 That's true. But Mike. So tell me, what does a jab to the guys who really don't know? What does a jab do to a guy? That's what does it do to offset a guy? What is a focal point of a jab?
It stops you in your tracks. I mean, it
Breaks
totally
the
throws your
rhythm.
rhythm off. It gives you something else to think about. I mean, if you're pressing and a guy's got a good jab, you have to stand back and do something else. And the thing is the thing about the jab is this is that I've always noticed that I've always appreciated. Like, I mean, perfect example. We all know Deontay Wilder. Man, if
Mm-hmm.
that guy could develop his jab, man, he
No
would
doubt.
be
No doubt.
maybe one of the best heavyweights of all time.
Right.
But back to Spence is like I said, it could just stop somebody in their tracks. And I mean, he controlled him with the jab. And when you can
Yeah.
control another fighter, and the thing again, back to
Oh, we
it
see
is
that with
anybody,
Dubois and Joyce last weekend.
yeah, anybody can use a jab. Anybody. It don't matter if you're a power puncher. It doesn't matter if you're a great skilled a boxer like Spence is. a jab can definitely, like, I Mayweather. The one flaw that I saw in him a lot of times is when somebody jabbed with him, he had trouble.
Mhm.
You know, and De La Hoya is a perfect example. When they fought into the 7th and 8th round, De La Hoya is winning that fight, man, because of the
Okay.
jab.
Okay.
You know, and that's what I'm saying. You know, the jab, it definitely can control a fight, and you know, it doesn't matter how big you are, how small you are. You throw a jab, man, and that's something else. Think about, plus it sets up your power punch. I've always said that. Set up your power with the jab.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Uh-huh.
I mean, it should be, it's basically like playing defense in basketball. You know, I mean,
Mm.
it
Right.
should be
Should be
common.
mandatory,
It
yeah.
should be common. Yeah, you know, you should just know it. And
Mhm.
it's a fundamental. Let's just put it that way. It's a fundamental. It should be a fundamental, and it gets lost. It gets lost by a lot of fighters, man.
Well, because
So
it's not a
Yeah,
flashy thing, you know what I mean? But
and
it's
that
like,
yeah,
jabs
yeah,
and the jab
yeah.
sets up other punches.
yeah, no doubt, no
Makes it
doubt.
even
Well,
easier
and,
for.
Danny Garcia, man. I mean, the thing about him is, I'm disappointed in him because I agreed with Vaughn that he needed to put pressure on, and I know that's not his style. But the
Nah,
difference to me, because I like Danny, I do. I think
I do
Danny's
too.
a very good fighter. But the
Mm-hmm.
difference between a very good fighter, Ray, and a great fighter is willing to change your game plan up.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yes.
And
know,
willing to
you
take that
know
risk to change your game plan because
Yes,
it comes with a
yes.
exactly.
risk.
Styles make fights, and you know, I'm sorry, man. I could not see Danny winning fighting his normal style of fight. I knew he's going to be
Nah,
in it. I knew he'd be competitive, but I mean, you know, I just was like, well, Spence is just going to outwork him if he's not going to press Spence.
Right,
You know, I mean,
right.
yeah, you know. So and Spence, and one last thing I want to say about Spence that was so impressive is his ability to move side to side against a great fighter. Like, I was
yeah,
just so impressed with that, man. I mean,
yeah.
he
He
was
was
just
getting
like
off the
this
line.
side shifting. I mean, he was on it, bro. That's why I say Rust. What Rust? I mean,
Oh yeah, and I got a few things I
yeah,
want to put out there,
Yeah, go ahead,
guys,
man.
just real quick with that. Derek James, true. I got a question to you.
yeah.
Do you think he's a trainer of the year? He won in 2017. You think he trainer of the year in 2020?
It's hard to say with COVID, man, because most of these guys only fought one time a year. I mean,
Yeah, but never mind. Go
it,
ahead. My bad.
he's right up there. I mean, you could argue Teofimo Lopez's dad
Yeah, he's
because
in there too.
he's some of that. That's it's a tough one, but man, he's definitely right at the top, man. Because that was impressive, but I don't. But what I think, what he wouldn't win it. Well, does he have any other fight? Well, he has
Yeah,
Charlo.
Jermell Charlo unified this
Yeah.
year.
You know what? Yeah. I mean, with other fighters like that, yeah, I'd say yeah, because damn, Charlo knocked out Rosario on a damn jab to the body. So yeah. So
Okay,
yeah.
okay. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
what
just
do you
wanted your
think,
thoughts on
Bon?
that one too.
Yeah, what do you think? You think he's trainer of the year or Bon?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think because bringing
Yeah.
back Earl Spence from that type of injury, you know what I'm saying? And then bringing back, and then Jermell Charlo coming back from what he came with Tony Harrison, and then him winning this unification bout against a dangerous Jason Rosario. Yeah, I give it to him, you know.
Yeah.
Or I mean, Teofimo Lopez Sr., you know, I wouldn't be mad if he wanted to, but I think I give it to Derek James this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
In terms of quantity, he deserves it. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
fair,
quantity.
fair.
Yeah, in terms of quantity.
So when it comes to scoring this fight, we both heard the judges. What do you guys had? What did you guys have fighting? And actually, when you answer where you had it fighting, what was a key round? Do you think Garcia would have had to change it up to at least make this a little bit more closer? So go ahead. Go ahead. True. Go ahead.
Well, the score first, or what round he had to do that?
Yeah. Okay. Let me hear the round first, and then we'll hear the score. Let me hear the round first.
The first round, because he got. I mean, I barely gave him 2 rounds, bro. I
Okay.
mean, so I to be
What
honest,
rounds were those?
Oh man, they were later on. I want to say the 7th or 8th round,
Uh-huh.
and it was either the 11th or the 12th. It was
Okay.
one of those two.
Okay.
But you know, they were all close. You know, Spence either won, or it was, or the rounds were close. So I had a hard time giving Danny rounds. You know,
Oh, okay.
so
Okay.
I mean, because I just thought Errol just dominated him, man.
Yeah.
And there was one round where it was like, wait, is he going to stop him? I believe that was the 9th round when he had
Yeah.
Danny looked like Danny was just
He was
tired,
looking
man.
worse for wear in the 9th round. I was like, oof.
Yeah.
So you're saying this first round?
I had it 118, 110 for that's 10 rounds to 2 for Errol Spence. So.
Okay. What about you, Vaughn? What round should he have switched his plan up, at least to give himself a fighting chance in this fight?
I say the third to through the 7 rounds, he
Okay.
needed to like put the pressure on him. Even his father told him in the 3rd round. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Angel
right,
told him, he was like, dude, you got to start bringing some pressure on you. He was like, he too smart. You know what I'm saying?
right, right, right.
He said that's what Angel said to him. And Danny needed to, from the 3rd to 7th round, just risk it, Danny. Just
Take a
risk it,
risk.
bro. Don't go out on like you have before. You know, don't go out
Right.
the same way you did with Sean Porter. Don't go out the same way you did with Keith Thurman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just take the risk, bro. Just go for it. And just Danny couldn't. I mean, Earl's smart. He's crafty, but he was overwhelmed.
And would you have scored?
And the score I had it, I'm with True 118 to 110. I had it 10-2 rounds. I mean, I could see 9-3, even though I predicted 8-4. I could see maybe 9-3, but I'm with True 10-2, 118 to 110. It was hard to give Danny some rounds, man.
Yeah,
It,
yeah. In the post fight press conference, Ray, I watched that this morning. When they were talking to Danny, he admitted that the jab is what really threw him off. Nothing really else surprised him, but the jab, he didn't think the jab, was as good as it was. But what I was laughing about in the post fight press conference is Angel Garcia was on Danny's ass, even in the press conference. He was saying, "I'm disappointed in him. He didn't fight the fight that we planned on. The fight that we planned on was pressure." Was to put pressure
well,
on him, let your hands go, and he didn't do that.
well,
So
well, tell me this because we see it a lot in boxing where the corner's saying, "Hey, you got to get in there." Is it really a complex? Are they afraid? Does that show you the fear that some guys have? Where because one corner's saying, "Hey, you need to press," but he goes out there and does the same thing. You see that countless times, like in boxing. What do you think the issue is with that? Is it just fear?
I think what it is just, I don't know if it's fear. I just think a guy just, he's being just like the other fighters just is as up on him, just better skill. It's just
Right,
the fighters don't know what else to do. They've tried other stuff probably in the ring. They probably tried to do this. They probably tried to step to the side. They probably tried to do this and do that they train in there, and there's just no plan B really there.
right.
Or they just know like, damn, I'm not gonna beat this man tonight.
Yeah.
It's a
Wow. Wow.
psychological thing to me sometimes. To
What you
me,
think, Mike? What you think it is?
yeah, agreed. I mean, that's one of those. I think a lot of it has to do with the way a Spence just totally taking his heart away from him.
yeah,
But
psychological.
but but again, for me, it's one of those things. It's the ability to be great and to take that risk. And Danny's just he's stuck in his ways, if that makes sense. He
Right,
really
right.
is.
Yeah,
He's not willing to change that up. And
nah,
that like I said, that's why I've always felt that he was very good, but not great.
Right,
yeah.
right, right. Well, okay. Well, that's a good, it's a good fight. No doubt. You know what I mean? And it's where do we go from here? You know what I mean? What's Garcia's next move? What's Spence's next move? What do you guys think?
All right, you take that one, True, and I'll take it.
You go ahead, Vaughn. You go ahead, man.
All right, so what I think for Earl
It's on camera.
Spence is, of course, he's going to try to pursue the Manny Pacquiao fight. We all know that, but the reality is, I don't think Manny Pacquiao is going to fight Earl Spence or Bud Crawford. Like, he just don't seem like, he hasn't shown me any kind of interest. You know what I'm saying,
Wow,
fellas?
wow, wow, wow. That's
Manny.
surprising because they've said Manny Pacquiao's had some money troubles over the years, right? You don't think that'd be a big fight for him, or do you think that's a true statement? Or
I just think it's this. I just don't think there's no interest for Manny.
oh, wow, that's great. What do you
I
think,
just,
Mike?
and I don't
Well,
have no.
actually,
Go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Vaughn.
and for Earl, I think the reality is this: he's gonna have to look at his options. You know what I'm saying? If he's not gonna fight Bud Crawford next, then he has to look. Okay, there's Keith Thurman, there's Ugas, there's Jamal James on there. I think the realistic thing to order for them to fight is Sean Porter made it evident that he said he would fight Terrence Crawford. He's on the #1 in the WBO. That's the fight he wants. Get Bud Crawford and Sean Porter to fight each other for the WBO title. Get Keith Thurman and Earl Spence to fight each other. And there's a path to them to fight, in my opinion. For Danny Garcia next, I'm with True. Josecito Lopez.
Hmm.
I think that's a good matchup.
That would be one. That would be one.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
it's
So True, go ahead.
they could both meet at the same point. Yeah, you're right. Go ahead,
Go
True.
ahead, True. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think is next?
Yeah. For Spence, I really like the Porter rematch because the way after looking this way against Danny,
Yeah.
the only guy that's really given Spence a fight is Porter. In terms
true.
of competitive. So I really believe that Spence was overlooking Porter going into that fight because there was a lot of people like myself that thought Spence was going to win that fight going away. And
Okay.
I knew Porter would be in it. Porter's tough.
I knew it was going to be competitive.
But Spence went up in weight, didn't he?
I didn't think it was going to be that close. No, nobody went up in weight. So
okay.
I didn't think it was going to be that close. Porter's the mandatory for that belt, and he doesn't have to worry about his.
Somebody falling off.
Yeah, you fell off. You there, True?
Mandatory. Yeah. So
start where you said he has to work. You cut out. Start where you said he doesn't have to worry about. That's what we lost you at.
He doesn't have to worry about his IBF mandatory. That's the red belt. Okay. He doesn't have to worry about that because
not anymore.
There was a draw in trying to decide his mandatory, and now Porter's there, and I really don't think that Terrence Crawford, with his contract not expiring with Top Rank until October of next year, I really don't think that fight's going to happen as much as I'd love to see it, Crawford and Porter. So. So I really think for Spence, Manny Pacquiao said this morning, I actually read something this morning saying that he's interested. Okay. In a possible unification, maybe. Realistically, I don't think he wants Spence. Realistically. But I think that's just smoke. I think he's just throwing it out there. But I really think it's going to be Porter for Spence. And Danny, I mean, yeah, Lopez is a great matchup, and I think Danny's got nothing to hang his head about. I know we were going back and forth in the group chat last night. He should move down to 140. Danny's not going to do that. He's got too much pride for that, and he knows.
And it's been 2 years since he fought at 140. That's true.
Yeah, and I know he's talked about moving up to 154 before. They asked Angel Garcia about that during the press conference last night. And Angel was like, hey, he said, he goes, you know what? I really think we can compete with the best in this division. Danny didn't follow his game plan. So I really think he's staying at 147. He's not going to move back down. And I still think Danny can compete as long as he doesn't run into one of those guys. But then again, a rematch with Keith Thurman, this is not the same Keith Thurman, in my opinion. And a rematch with Sean Porter, he barely lost that fight.
But you don't think Keith Thurman and Errol Spence? That's the whistle.
I'm gonna tell you right now, until Thurman stops talking and gets back in the ring, I don't think he wants anything to do with Errol Spence. He's got to get a tune-up fight too. He hasn't fought in a year and a half.
Sometimes it hurt me.
So
sometimes we heard me. What happened to my boy? He used to be one time. Now he's sometimes. Earl was right. All them years ago, he told us.
He's two-time Thurman. He used to be one time. So yeah.
And I think
sometimes.
I think this is the down period with boxing as a casual fan that you got to get used to. Like you said, tune-up fight. That's just something that.
He ain't fought in so long.
Yeah,
he's been so inactive the past 4 years.
And to me, like I said, that's just something I guess I got to get used to. Just hearing that, you know what I mean? It's like, no, we want the fight now, but tune-up, you're right, tune-up fight, and then 6 months after that, maybe something. So it's something that I think it's just a part of boxing that just being patient. Maybe that tune-up fight will be decent. But I don't know. Hopefully the future is bright for Garcia past this, man. Like you said, he should stay in this division, I think, but I don't know.
He got nothing to hang his head about, bro. He lost to the best, and when you lose to the best, things happen, and I don't think he should run and hide. At least give it one more run, see how he does, and if somebody else dominates him, then okay, you start thinking about it then. But up till this point, Vaughn said it, he's never been dominated,
right?
So
never,
I think one more run and he's good.
So what's looking new in boxing? What's some new things? I don't even know if this is worth talking about, but Mayweather came out and said he's going to fight the YouTube guy.
Oh,
I think Mayweather's BSing. I think he's bullshitting everybody, man. Me personally, but that's all I know that's new. Mike, maybe you could tell me something that's going on that's new.
Yeah, I don't discuss Mayweather. He's a joke.
Stop hating on my dog.
In terms of actually fighting these days, once he gets back in the ring with a real boxer, then I'll discuss Mayweather. But in terms of news, yeah, I wanted to talk about I want to give some love to Martin Murray and the career that guy had. It's sad that he went out for his 5th title shot, as we said, against Billy Joe on Friday, and he got worked. Nobody was surprised by that, but Martin Murray's an uncrowned champion, right? He fought for titles. His first 2 title fights, he probably should have won at least one of them against Felix Sturm. He's been around a lot of years. Mm-hmm. He got a controversial, I believe it was a draw in that fight. And then and then he went to Argentina against Sergio Martinez, and a lot of people thought he won that fight, man. And probably should have won the title then. The only guy to ever stop him was Triple G when Triple G was bulldozing people, and he went 11 rounds with Triple G.
Okay.
So I mean, I just want to give some love and a shout out to him because it's a shame he never got that world title, man. He came close on 3 of his 5 attempts. I mean, he lost a split decision to Arthur Abraham, who was a good fighter at super middle. And just always a chugger, man. Always just that guy, like that blue chip type fighter, and I just want to show some love to him, man, because it was probably his last fight on Friday against Billy
Well,
Joe. So
it's kind of sad on things like that because it's a lot of circumstances that dictate, championships, whether it be even MVPs in other sports. You know what I mean? So, I mean, boxing is one of those things that with judging, man, it can go either way sometimes. Sometimes you hear it and you're like, wait, what? So, what fight did you say was the one that they thought he won?
There was a couple of them. There was the Felix Sturm fight, his first ever title fight at middleweight. He probably should have got that one. And then the second one against Sergio Martinez, that was tight, man. That was razor thin.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was another one too that he almost won. And like I said, the only guy that ever stopped him was Triple G. I mean, the guy just had a good, solid career, but it's disappointing he never won a world title because these nowadays it's so easy to hand a guy a world title. I mean, it happens all the time.
Right.
And the fact that he's kind of an uncrowned champion, and the fact that he fought for world titles 5 times, right, shows you that how good he was.
Right. Yeah, that sucks, man.
Yeah,
That sucks.
that's the one thing I want to just give him some love, man, on his career, because it's probably over with.
You think so? You think it's the last one? How old is he now?
He's 38.
Okay. All right. Well, shit. I mean, it sucks. Like I said, 38 and still doing it, man. To me, that's just mind baffling, man. But it could be done though. It could be done. Speaking of that though, Pacquiao, how old is he now? 41, 42? Is he really? He's really looked at as an opponent that the guys want to see, huh?
Xavier.
I mean, of course, people want to see Manny Pacquiao fight. I mean, if he comes back and depending on who he fights, But I just think Manny about to have one more fighting right off into the sunset.
So I think so too. Like I say, he's an older guy. I'd hate to see people stick around too long. You know what I mean? I'm starting to get that feeling with him. You know what I mean? It's been there, but it's kind of like poking his head out, man. You know what I mean? But
he don't have to fight Earl or Bud, really.
Right.
Really solidified. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny how some people, because like you said, it's just at his age, he's definitely a threat, though. You know what I mean? He's definitely a threat.
Oh yeah, he's still a threat. Hell yeah, he's still a threat. Everybody know that. You sleep on Manny Pacquiao if you want to.
Yeah. So okay. So now that we're talking about older guys, we got a couple older guys that fought last week. I wish we would have touched on it, but we really didn't get a chance to. With Mike Tyson and Roy Jones. I kind of want us to, and Mike brought this up. We really should talk about what them as boxers, what it did for boxing, what they meant for us. With me, Mike Tyson was he was feared. He's one of the few people I knew or that I remember that was feared in the ring and out the ring. I think part of Mike Tyson's dominance was his insanity. You know what I mean? He just not being, you couldn't figure him out. He was literally scary just to be in the same room. He still is that way. So it's you really don't come across guys like that no more. He wasn't really. It's kind of sad what Don King did to him in the long run. You know what I mean, financially and all that. But it's just Mike Tyson was just so dominant. You know what I mean, and like it just you will never see a fighter like that. To me, like I said, that was dominant in the ring and out the ring. And Roy Jones was dominant, but he was pretty with it. You know what I mean? And it's just Roy Jones actually tried to. I think he's one of the first boxers. I mean, maybe you guys can talk to me about this. One of the first boxers who tried to really create fame outside the ring because maybe he was acting, he was doing the rapping thing. I mean, I remember Tommy Morris did what was he in? I mean, they had a couple in the Rocky series.
Yeah, it started. I mean, yeah.
But it felt like he was one that kind of, because I remember he did an episode on the Wayans brothers. He was doing his rapping thing. Like, I almost felt like the marketing went past boxing with Roy Jones, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like that he actually went full fledged. And what did Mike Tyson and Roy Jones do for you, Vaughn?
So yeah, Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is iconic, man. He's a legend in this sport, and I mean, he brought a lot to boxing. He basically created pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he brought that aspect for boxers, bringing in that type of money, and he's, and just who he was. Mike Tyson is an enigma. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying?
Right, right.
He was an enigma. And I think people loved Mike Tyson, and he was loved and hated. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
He
no
was
doubt, no
mainly
doubt.
loved, but he had his side of being hated. You know, when he got out of jail and stuff, and just Mike was just going through a lot. But yeah, he's iconic, man. Mike Tyson is Mike Tyson. There will only be one. You know, so
Yeah, no doubt, no
that's
doubt, man.
you know, and then Roy is Roy Jones is. I mean, in the '90s, man, Roy was just he seemed unbeatable.
He really did. He really did.
He just seemed unbeatable. It just seemed like Roy was never ever gonna lose. You know, he was just beating just everybody. 168, 175, man, Roy was smoking them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Especially at, you know what I'm saying, 168. You know, and then he went up to heavyweight. He was the what? Him and Bob Fitzsimmons, I believe. The last only two fighters ever in history to come from light heavyweight and go up to heavyweight and win the world championship.
That's
You
crazy.
know, yeah, so Roy's, his career is glistening, and just Roy just brought a swagger, to boxing. Just it needed it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He brought that excitement. People was, and Roy means a lot to me in boxing. I had a strong respect for that man and Mike Tyson, and I think they're just icons and legends, and you know, I think we need to cherish them
Yeah,
as
yes, no
boxing
doubt, no
fans,
doubt.
guys like that who really showed us how to approach the sport. So
Right.
yeah, go ahead, True.
Yeah, well, Tyson for me was that was basically my introduction to boxing right there.
Hmm.
I love Mike Tyson. I mean, he was kind of like, when he first won his world title, I was like 5, 6 years old in that era. So that's around the area where you start noticing like stuff in pop culture and different things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, you
And
do.
he was just a phenom, bro. I mean, he was just yeah, that dude was just a beast in there, and people were afraid of him. That he had guys beat before he got in the ring,
Yep.
and he was so terrifying. And the thing is, people don't see his record. He's one of the probably maybe 10 greatest heavyweights of all time, but a lot of people want to throw him up there at the top. And he didn't beat a lot of Hall of Famers,
Number
but
one. Who
yeah,
got him number
yeah, yeah.
one?
No. I said a lot of people want to put him up in the top five,
Phew.
and
No.
and
Anyways,
and
my
I
bad,
don't put,
True.
yeah, I don't put him there. I don't put him there,
Yeah.
but what he did in terms of name, pay per view, and still to this day, I mean that fight that they just had, 1.6 million pay per view
I
buys.
know.
That
Wow.
is a
Crazy.
that is a huge number for
Wow.
guys that are in their 50s. That shows
And
you
they,
how much these guys meant to boxing. And Mike Tyson is like Jose Canseco to me of boxing. Like he was my favorite guy when I was little. Then he almost did like an OJ Simpson on us, bro. You
Right,
know what I'm
right,
saying?
right, right.
Like once he started getting in trouble, he went from loved to hated by most. And really for me, it was disappointing. Like when he fought Lennox Lewis. Actually, Ray, I remember this. Me and you were at a basketball tournament in San
Yeah,
Jose
yeah, yeah,
fighting.
yeah. No doubt. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Hoop it
And,
up,
and,
right?
and I remember him getting laid out, which I knew was going to happen. I knew Lennox was going to beat him, but and it's sad because for me that's bittersweet because Lennox is one of my favorite fighters ever, but Tyson was my childhood. So when to see Tyson just so beat up and humble at the end right there, it was sad, but I'm glad he's doing what he's doing now, man. It's like they're talking about doing like a little league of the older fighters fighting, and I think that's cool. If that's what they want to do, they want to make some money, get in there and mix it up. As long as nobody gets hurt, I think that's cool,
Right,
But
right.
um, but Roy Jones, man, I mean, one of the maybe the most talented fighter ever. And in terms of this generation, he was so smooth, so good. He would dominate guys. I mean, it wasn't even close and play with them and
yeah.
all that stuff. And I told you this story the other day. Maybe my favorite story of Roy Jones was one how he got robbed in his first loss was to Montel Griffin by DQ when he hit
Hmm.
him when he was down. And then Montel Griffin made the mistake of going and saying, I beat Roy Jones. Like, you were about to get knocked out. Stop talking. And Roy went in there in the rematch and blasted him in the first round. Might be my favorite Roy Jones moment right there. When he moved to heavyweight, I thought he could beat John Ruiz, but man, the size difference was huge. And he came in even under the cruiserweight limit. He was 199 the night of the fight. And I was like, how's he going to hang with this big dude? And he just cleanly outboxed him. I mean, he was just the Roy Jones of old, and it's sad what happened later on in his career. Once he got knocked out, the first time against Tarver, then Glenn Johnson later on that year. And and stuff. But I mean, Roy Jones is, I mean, that dude's one of the greatest fighters ever. You were talking about marketing, what he did with that. He was
Right.
the first fighter to use the Jordan logo.
That's
You
true.
know,
That is true.
yeah,
I forgot about that. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the first one to start rocking that. You know, and I was like, whoa, that was pretty tight. You know, I thought that
Right.
was cool. So
Right.
yeah, love these two guys. Two of my favorite fighters ever, right there.
What
Yeah.
could we do an honorable mention to Evander Holyfield though? Can we
Oh
give that
yeah,
guy
the real
credit for
deal,
what he's
baby.
been doing in his career? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
is this guy is he just not getting recognition? Would we consider him like, I'm not gonna say underrated? Well, I guess you could say was Evander Holyfield? Did he ever get the credit that he deserved for his boxing
Yeah.
career? You think so? Okay.
Yeah.
I always felt that he did it.
Yeah, everybody loves Vander, man. That man is a warrior.
Yeah, because he was one of the first ones. He pretty much dominated Mike during that fight, right? The first fight.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's just, you know what it is when you're in the Tyson era, a style like Holyfield's doesn't get enough respect, but Holyfield did it by winning. You
Right,
know, that
right,
was his
right.
thing, by coming back, winning. Even when he lost, he came back and won. I mean, he's the I believe he's still the only 4-time heavyweight champion. Even though the 4th time he shouldn't have been, he got lucky.
Uh-huh.
But you know, got a gift decision the 4th time. But still, there's only I don't know. Wait, is there only 3-time heavyweight champions? I believe that's Ali and Holyfield. So he's with Ali. I don't know if any other heavyweights have won the heavyweight title 3 times, but he did and Ali did, and he's the only guy to win it 4 times.
Yeah,
So
he won it 4 times.
Evander is a stud. So yeah.
Okay. So I got a question for you guys, and I want you guys. I don't want me and Mike talked about it. Don't want to ask you guys this question ahead of time because I want to know you guys' feel. Okay. So we'll start with you, Mike. Okay. You're Dana White. Now you're taking over boxing in the welterweight division. You got 5 top boxers. Show me the pathway to get to the best boxer. Who would box who, 1 through 5, and how would they? And then what would be your final fight? I'm sorry, 6 boxers. 6 boxers.
6. Okay. Let me see. Well, Danny would be. I mean, Danny to me is number 6 in that
Okay.
division. So I mean,
So he
if
just fought
you,
Spence, right? Will Spence be your number
yeah,
1?
yeah, right now he would be. It'd be Spence 1, Crawford 2. I got Pacquiao 3. I got Sean Porter 4, and I got Keith Thurman at number 5. So basically, you know, if you want to knock Garcia out of it right now because he
Right.
just lost, even though he's in the top 6,
Right.
I would love to see Crawford against any one of those 3 guys. So let's throw him against Keith Thurman. Crawford smashes Keith Thurman. That's not even a fight. And then I know Vaughn probably feels a little differently, but I think Crawford's just on another level. And then Pacquiao and Porter would be great. That would be a really good scrap right there. But you know what? I give Pacquiao a close decision. And then for me, I mean, you'd have Pacquiao. Let Pacquiao. It's hard to say because I want to see Spence and Crawford in the finals. So I don't think Pacquiao beats either Spence or Crawford, to be honest. So it comes down to, at the end of the day, it comes down to Spence and Crawford. And for me, Terrence Crawford's the best fighter. That's just me. I think he beats him straight up. I think he beats him, but it could get the way Spence looked last night. It's going to be a good ass fight, and it could go either way. So
Talk to me, Vaughn. You're Dana White. Top 6 fighters. Show me the path to the top guy.
Dana White, though?
Well, I can't give you boxing promoter because you know they be holding their fighters back from fighting other guys based on, you know what I mean.
So
That's why I say Dana White's calling the shots now.
So the top 6, I'm pretty much with True. You know, number 1, I got Earl Spence. Number 2, I got Bud Crawford. Number 3, I got Manny Pacquiao. Number 4, I got Sean Porter. Number 5, I got Keith. Number 4. What did I have? Number 4.
You said Thurman, right?
Yeah, I had Thurman, and then I had Porter at 5th, and then I got Danny at 6.
Okay. So your number 2 will go against your number 5, right?
Who? Your number 2? Yeah, your number 2 is gonna. Oh, we're gonna do it like that.
Well, it's up to you. You're like I say, you're calling it, man. I'm just go ahead, do your thing, man.
This is how I would do it. This is just straight up how I would do it. Manny Pacquiao, I know you don't want to really fight Bud or Terrence Crawford. You know, that's just my opinion of with Manny Pacquiao. No problem, and I don't have no knock on it. So Manny, you know, you can fight Mikey Garcia or something.
This is why I call you Dana White, though. Listen, this is why I call you Dana White. Because remember, Dana White's calls shots whether you want to fight him or not. So make the fights happen.
From 1 through 5. Okay, so Earl would fight my 5th break winning. We have to fight Sean Porter again then.
Okay.
Yeah, so he had to fight Sean Porter again. I think Earl Spence would beat Sean Porter a little more convincingly this time. It's going to be close. You know what I'm saying? But I think he would win more convincingly. I think it'd probably be like 8-4. This time, like how I kind of had with Danny Garcia and him. Um, then number 2, I had Terrence Crawford. So Terrence Crawford would fight the number 4 fighter, Keith Thurman. Yeah,
Okay.
I had Keith Thurman. So Terrence Crawford and Keith Thurman. It's a closer fight than I think, but I'm gonna have to go with Bud. I just think right now, Bud has just been on fire, man, and I think he'll just get Keith now. I don't know about a knockout, but I think he would win a decision.
Okay.
And then we had Manny Pacquiao. So Pacman would fight with the 6th ranked fighter.
Yes. No, Pacquiao. Well, Spence and Garcia already fought, so we kind of want to knock Garcia out. That's why we said 5. So
Okay,
so
so the 5th. So
yeah,
Manny is 3rd. So Manny would fight.
Manny
Manny
would
would
fight
have
the
to
4.
the 4th fighter. He would
Yeah,
fight Keith Thurman. He would end up fighting Keith Thurman again then.
Thurman, and then the 5th would go to. No, you're right. Manny would be the 5th. I think so.
Who's it come down to?
Yeah, who's it come down? Yeah.
Huh?
Who does it come down
What'd you
to?
say?
Who does it come down to?
Oh, so
Pacquiao's not beating Spencer Crawford. Do you agree
nah.
with that,
So it
Vaughn?
comes down to Spence and Crawford, and I mean that's just basically who I think is when all the smoke clears. I think it'll be those two. So, and I'm going with Earl of True Spence.
Okay.
Ooh, we got to put something on that one. We got.
Oh, we will.
So
We will. True.
what do you guys think the timeline realistically would be for if it does happen for Crawford and Spence to fight? Are we looking at 2021, 2022? What do you guys think?
It could happen at the end of 2021 because
Yeah.
Crawford's contract ends with Top Rank in October of next year. So if they wanted to get it going for November, December, but realistically, I'd say to be able to promote the fight too, because honestly, Ray, this is the fight every hardcore boxing fan
The
wants to
fan
see more than
wants.
anything.
Well,
Yeah.
let me not cut you off real quick, Mike. But the fact that his contract is ending, wouldn't that be more incentive for Top Rank to make it happen to get that big payday?
Well,
Top
see,
Rank.
here's the thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Bob Arum is trying. I don't think Bob Arum gets enough credit for how hard he is trying to get Spence to fight with the PBC fighters. Like I said, I mean, I know there's back end money that goes to the PBC fighters to stay on that network, but he's offering those guys more than double what they usually make to come over and fight Crawford on ESPN.
Okay.
So he's trying. It's not happening. I understand why. It's just, Bob Arum is frustrated. After Crawford's fight, he said, "You know how much money I waste trying to promote Terrence Crawford?" Like, he came out and said that.
Mhm.
And I was
he
like,
truly
wow,
disrespected Terrence Crawford.
yeah, that's a total disrespect to Crawford. But you know what? I also understand both sides of it. You got to look at both sides. Bob
Yeah.
Arum's frustrated. He's trying to get big fights for
Yeah.
maybe
And
the most
Bud don't
talented
promote
fighter in
himself
boxing.
sometimes.
Yeah. And Bud doesn't have that big, outgoing personality. But then again, neither does Spence.
Nah. Spence is
So
just more. Spence. It comes more from his fan base.
yes, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
He's got a
So
big ass fan base.
yeah, but that is, Ray. I'll say it again. That is, in terms of the hardcore fan. That in terms of the hardcore fan, that is probably the biggest fight in boxing that people want to see.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh wow, Vaughn, when do you see it happening? Late 2021, 2022?
I'm with True. Me and True. See, that's the thing. Me and True, we disagree on stuff, so people don't think we don't disagree on things. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But when the man is right about something, I got to give him his props. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Straight up and down. But the True is right. I see it like he said, end of 21. Him and Bob Arum, I think they're done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He said he's gonna have a stepson. Todd DeBuff deal with him and stuff. But so I think 2021 end of it. But like True said, I think you need 2022. You need some time to promote that fight because you want to do it during the football season. You know what I'm saying? To promote the fight, and then you have it after the college football season, like you did kind of with Wilder and Fury in it.
Well, tell me this though: is it possible to train for a fighter while you're under promotion, knowing that you're going to leave them? So you say he leaves in October to schedule a fight in, let's say, December. Yeah. How does that work? Do you train for him knowing you're leaving him? So that doesn't create like a tension between you and your promoter? How does that what happens with that?
Their relationship seems kind of just like already done.
Right.
So what Terrence Crawford can do, he can start, talking to PBC behind the closed doors or whatever, group
Oh, I see.
whatever
Okay.
promoter he wants to go, deal with. He can talk behind closed doors. Some things that Bob Arum wouldn't even know. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Okay.
So he
Yeah,
can
I
start
mean,
working that way. Bud can start looking towards the future because he needs to anyway. Because I don't think Bud gonna resign with Top Rank. I really don't. So
I think he's going to fight one more fight in the
Mhm.
first half of the year with Top Rank,
And
and
that's
it's
it.
probably to hold on to his title. He'll probably fight a mandatory fight. Now it depends on
Mhm.
who wants to fight him. Does Sean Porter want to really fight him? Do they
Yeah,
want to
he's the
get together
mandatory.
for that? Yeah, he is the mandatory. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, they're friends. Why not do it? And
Right.
Porter
John
does
Porter said last
one thing
night.
I love about Porter is that dude is willing to fight anybody.
Anybody.
So,
Okay.
I love that about Sean Porter. That he might be the most fearless guy in boxing. Seriously,
Okay.
he might.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's something to look into then. Okay. So what do we got going on coming up? Actually, I know you want to talk about any new fights coming, or not new fights, but fights on schedule because this is a busy month. Any predictions you
yeah.
guys want to call out right now? Anything to
Yeah,
look for?
we'll get into the cards that are coming up. Vaughn, you want to take the Showtime card, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yep, you had me on there. So Showtime card that was scheduled for what was that? November
The
12th, I
12th.
think.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
And what
yeah.
happens?
It got canceled because of what happened? Did a fire it just got pushed back or something
I think
with
it
a
got pushed
venue?
back. Yeah.
Yeah, it got pushed back. So on the Showtime card, we got Chris Colbert. Chris Colbert is a young talented prospect. He's out of, I believe, Brooklyn, New York. You know what I'm saying? Kid's got a lot of talent. You know what I'm saying? Pretty good fighter. You know what I'm saying? Good skill set, intelligent in the ring. You know what I'm saying? And he is going up against Jimmy Arboleda.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was making sure I'm so Jamie Arboleda. This dude, a lot of people don't know about him. A lot of people don't. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They really honestly don't. But I think he is about to give Chris Colbert a tough fight. A really, really tough fight. He's from Panama. Pretty good, decent fighter. He beat Jason Velazquez. He won a split decision, which was, wasn't the greatest win, but he does have some skill set to him. You know what I'm saying? He's got some pop in his punches. I think he's got what, 13 knockouts? You know what I'm saying?
High
So he's
knockout
got
ratio. Yeah.
yeah, high knockout ratio, only 16 fights. Not the biggest name, but he's gonna come to fight. So Chris Colbert is gonna have to bring his A game in his fight. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
In order to win against this dude. Chris Colbert can't overlook this dude. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm going with Chris Colbert in that fight, though. I think Chris Colbert will get the win. I think he is going to get tested, though. You know what I'm saying, fellas?
Right.
Yeah. And then in the co-main event, they got Matty Korboff versus what's his name? What's that man
Ronald
name?
Ellis.
Yeah, Rocco Ellis. So Matty Korboff, if you know anything about Korboff has been in there with some pretty damn good fighters. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He fought Jamal Charlo in a really close fight. Some people thought he beat Korboff, beat Jamal Charlo.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Some people really did. And Ellis, I mean, he's a cool fighter, I mean,
Stepping stone.
yeah, he's you know what I'm saying?
don't
I'm trying to be
disrespect it like
nice.
that.
Yeah, I try to be
But he
nice.
is. He is.
He's a stepping stone. He's in it. True is right. Ronald Ellis is a stepping stone. You know what I'm saying? He fought. He really hasn't fought anybody of note. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I just think Korboff is just going to get a clear cut decision. I mean, Ellis got a little pop in his punches. He can make it kind of interesting, but I think Korboff is just going to outbox him and get the win. You know what I'm saying? Stay relevant, stay on there, and keep yourself in position to always be that kind of guy for the higher level, middleweights that's coming up to kind of, you know what I'm saying, challenge and test themselves. So,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? It's not. And then we got Richard Hitchison. He's a really talented young fighter. He's out of the Mayweather camp.
Okay.
He has some good skills. He's very talented. He's a very, really good skill, Mayweather kind of skill, counter puncher type of style, move around, what you expect out of the Mayweather camp.
Right.
But he's only 11-0. He's only 11-0, but he's got a big step up coming up in Argenis Mendez. Now, Argenis Mendez, if you know anything about Argenis Mendez, if you know anything about this man is no easy fight at all. You know what I'm saying?
Well, how
And
old
I
is this
don't
guy?
know. Mendez is 34.
34.
He's from
Okay, okay,
Dominican
okay.
Republic. And
Former champion. Yeah.
in Mendez's career, he got a split draw against Anthony Peterson.
Okay.
He won a split decision against Ivan Radchek, and he lost a unanimous decision against Luke Campbell. He got stopped by Robert Easter, and he beat Miguel Vasquez. You know what I'm saying? And he's fought racist Bartholomew. So he's fought a lot of quality competition. I don't. I believe Richard could pull it off, but it is going. I don't really know who's going to win that fan.
Right, right.
Mendez is a sat. Mendez has been in there with some good competition. You know what I'm saying? As I just told you, and beat some pretty good competition.
So it's definitely a fight to watch, pretty much, huh?
Yeah, and Hitchison. I don't know. Maybe this might be too big of a step up too quick. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It could be a case of that. So
Do
pretty
you
good
see
card.
that? Do you see that happening sometimes, where a guy takes a step up too quick, and does it change the path of his career? You think have you seen that happen?
Yeah, I've seen it happen with fighters.
Okay.
Yeah, and they can take a loss, but it's all about what a young fighter. When a young guy takes a loss, it's all about how he takes it and how he bounces back.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right. That's true. That's true. So
It's all about how he bounces.
what's the date on this Showtime card?
So that Showtime card, I believe, is next weekend, fellas.
Oh
Yeah, I
man.
believe
Okay.
it's
Okay.
December 12th is going to be on Showtime.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
All right, Mike. What
Yeah,
about
I
this
got
ESPN card? What's up?
And the interim, and my bad, in the WBA interim super featherweight title is on the line with Chris Colbert and Jamie Arboleda.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. Go ahead, Drew.
Yeah, just some quick notes on that card. Yeah, Colbert's on the rise. I think he beats Arbadola by a unanimous decision. But yeah, he's just outside of my top 10. Pretty solid. I saw him fight back in January, and he's pretty solid. I like him. A lot of skill, but not a lot of PBC fighters in that weight class. So hopefully he can get a bigger fight in 2021. It just hopefully he's not just keeps fighting lesser guys. I'm hoping he can get good quality opposition going forward.
Yeah.
Matt Korobov, I love Matt Korobov. He's old, reliable. Been in there with some good fighters. Almost became a world champion. He's fought for a title a couple times. I think he's going to smash on Ronald Ellis. To be honest, I mean, it could be a one-sided decision. It could end by a knockout. He's getting up there in age, but hey, he's my number 10 middleweight in the world. He's still relevant, so he's up there. And then Hitchinson, I got him beating Mendez, but yeah, no, you're right. If he can't pass this test, he's not ready. So that's plain and simple. So this is going to see this fight right here with Mendez, because Mendez is a former champion at 130. If he beats Mendez, he's ready. He's ready.
Yeah, Rich is ready in 11 fights.
Yeah.
Wow.
So then so the ESPN card, right?
Right.
Undercard, well, I'll get into that real quick. Edgar Berlanga. He's fighting some dude named Sierra.
I just picked up his t-shirt.
Yeah. Berlanga, Ray, I think I mentioned it last weekend. This dude's 15-0, 15 first-round knockouts. It's not whether he's going to get a knockout. It's is he going to do it in the first round again?
What weight is this guy? What weight is these guys?
168.
Yeah, he's a super middleweight. I mean, this dude, I don't know how good he's really going to be because he hasn't really fought anybody yet. But he is scary good with power and he's exciting to watch. So he's on the undercard. Then we got a really good lightweight fight. Felix Verdejo. They've been trying to bring him up. Bob Arum has for a few years.
I can't wait for that fight.
Yeah. He's a good fighter, but dedication has been a question the last couple of years. How hard he's training. He got upset last year or the year before. He's taken on Masahiro Nakatani, who went 12 rounds with Teofimo Lopez last year.
Gave
Solid
him some
fighter. Yeah. Gave him some trouble. This is a good lightweight fight right here. We're gonna see if Verdejo's ready, and we're gonna see if Nakatani if he's really that good. That's a very good lightweight fight as the co-feature. And then the main event, Shakur Stevenson. The future of boxing. The only thing I want to see from him is a little bit more power. Sit on his punches, a little bit more power. But he's taking on Toka Khan Clary, a veteran. He should smash this guy. But every time he comes out, I mean, he's his manager is Andre Ward. He's a really, really great fighter in the making.
And Bud is a mentor.
Yeah. In 2021 is going to be his. He's getting a title shot next. He's fighting the winner Carl Frampton and Jamel Herring next at 130. So I got Stevenson with a later rounds TKO. I'm putting some faith in his power. I hope he gets it. I got I'm gonna give Verdejo the win here over Nakatani because I hope he's as good as we think he is. So I'm gonna give him a decision win, and then Berlanga is gonna stop this fool in the first round easy. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But definitely got Stevenson as a fighter to watch next year.
Oh
Correct.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I keep saying it. He's the future. He's the
Okay.
future.
Okay. All right. All right. Got you. Got you. That's something to
Yeah.
know
And so
because there's some young guys out there. But go ahead. Go ahead, Vaughn.
my bad, my bad. So like True said on the ESPN card, so I'm going with Berlanga, like he said. Edgar Berlanga, I just got his T shot. Shout out to Edgar Berlanga, the
Okay.
chosen one. I love knockouts, so I like Edgar. So I'm going with Edgar Berlanga. He should get Sierra out of there within a 1 to 2 rounds. It shouldn't be long. Now with Felix Verjao versus Mr. Nakatani. Nakatani is very tall and very long for well, he's long for the 135 pounds division, and like True said, Felix Verdeal, he was on the rise. He was actually prospect of the year. What was that? 2014.
Yeah,
True, I think.
yeah.
Okay.
ESPN. Yeah, from that thing, he was prospect of the year. So it was a lot of Puerto Rican fighter, a lot of what I'm saying, hype going on with him, but then he ended up losing. So. And then, like Drew said, there was, questions about his commitment. Does this man really want to still do this? Does he really still love the sport? And, this is going to be a true test to where he's at. Is he ready for the championship, title shot? Is he ready for that level? You know what I'm saying? But I'm going with the upset. I'm going with Nakatani.
Okay.
I'll go with the upset. I'll go with
Let me
Nakatani.
write that down, man.
Yep. I'll go with
We
the
got to
upset.
hold people accountable, man.
I would, yeah, always, because I fake, I eat crow, no problem. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm going Nakatani. I just
Okay.
think Nakatani, man, he's gonna be determined. He's gonna fight long. He's gonna fight tall. He's gonna try to keep Verjao at the end of his punches and stuff like that, which he did with Tiafimo. But I just got this feeling I'm going with Nakatani. He's gonna get the decision. And then in the main event, we got no Shakur Stevens. This kid is just he's the truth. He's the, like what's the name said. He's got very, 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 very high potential. If he just stays dedicated and just keep working on his craft, he can be that guy. Floyd Mayweather, when he was in the Olympics in 2016, Floyd came all the way to Brazil to see him fight.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you should, yeah. And Floyd don't do that for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So that should tell you what type of level this kid is on. And like my boy True said, Andre Ward promotes him. Terrence Crawford is a mentor to him, like a big brother to him. So, he's in very good hands. Very,
Okay.
very,
Okay.
very, very good hands.
And I'm sure we got plenty of video and pictures of Floyd doing that too when he went out there. So
Yep. Wow. This guy always on my dog. Stop.
Oh,
Anyways.
man.
And so yeah, and he's fighting Con Clary. So Con Clary, he's got some skills. Con Clary, I think earlier on, he'll make, earlier on he's gonna give, make Shakur make some adjustments, and I think earlier on he'll try to make a fight of it. But I just think Stevens is just gonna wash him. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just gonna be a clear cut decision, just like, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe, and it's just Shakur's just gonna show he's levels above him, and like True said, Jamel Herring and Carl Frampton, he would be the mandatory for them. I wonder how Bob Arum's going to do that. What happened with Jamel Herring and, who wins out of him and Carl Frampton. I wonder how they're going to do that. How, what I'm saying? Because it's going to be kind of awkward because, I believe Jamel Herring trains with Terrence Crawford and stuff. Yeah, with Bomac and, Shakur being cool with Bud and them. But, hey, you got to fight sometimes. So, yeah. So, and that would be whoever wins might be Carl Frampton and Jamel Herring, and Shakur fights them and beats them. Man,
Wow.
Lord.
moves to the top of the division. Yep.
Yeah, I'm like boxing. I'm like, y'all better watch out. But yeah. So yeah, that's who I think is gonna win. And we also, and we got one more card to talk about. My bad.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's talk about that next card.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
All right. So we got the DAZN card. We got Tyson Fury's, I believe, what is his little brother?
It's
Cousin, my bad. His cousin Huey Fury. So Huey Fury's been around for a while. You know what I'm saying? Huey is he's fought some good opponents. You know what I'm saying? He had some health issues. I believe Huey got like a skin element.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? There's kind of like, you know what I'm saying? He's had to take some time off from his career and stuff like that. And I mean, Huey's a decent heavyweight, pretty decent heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's fought Samuel Peters when he was faded, though, way too faded. He lost to Alexander Povetkin. He lost to majority decision to Joseph Parker. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of close, and he's fighting Marcelius Wax. And if you know anything, Wak fought Klitschko all those years ago for a heavyweight title. He recently fought Dillian White in a fight that was really, really, really close. Gave Dillian White hell. Even though Dillian White was coming off a long layoff and a suspension and stuff like that, he fought Art Despilka. Close fight, lost to him. He got stopped by Gerald Miller. He fought Erkan Turper. Remember Erkan Turper? What's it
Oh
called?
yeah.
A true?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Erkan Turper, and he got stopped by Alexander Povetkin. So I mean, this fight right here, it's not really for much. You know what I'm saying? But
Well, on a scale of 1 to 10 at must watch, what would you put it on?
probably like a 4.
It's heavyweights, right? You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
yeah. It's interesting. It's interesting because you got Tyson Fury's cousin, and he's knocked on the door a couple times. He fought for a world title against Joseph
Yeah,
Parker, and he got beat. He got soundly outboxed, and then he fought Povetkin, and that wasn't too bad of a fight. He actually put on a decent performance there,
yeah, really came up
but
short.
Kubrat Pulev also, who's fighting on the main event, also cleanly outboxed him. So you
Yeah,
know he's not bad, but I think this is he has to beat a guy like Wak,
yeah,
who's
he
kind
has
of
to.
he has to beat him to at least try to get back in that mix, that title mix,
Right, right,
because
right.
I don't think people take him serious because there's been a couple times he went out and he didn't like the Joseph Parker and the Pulev fights. He didn't look
Just
like
came
he
up
was
short.
that interested. He got, he really got. I think once he figured out these guys are really good. They know how to box. He just kind of shut down and didn't know what to do. But against Povetkin, he had a little bit of a light there. That was a good fight.
Yeah,
So
he did.
so we'll see. We'll see. I think he wins a
Yeah,
decision. That
me too.
I got him
Yeah,
winning the decision.
I
Okay,
would too.
okay.
Yeah, I think he wins the decision against Walk. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think here we would get the win. And I don't know if it does much for him, but it's a fight.
Okay, okay,
Keeps
okay.
him on the right track. Keeps him on the right track. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then the undercard, we lost a really good fight, man. Glowacki against Okoli was supposed to be for the vacant cruiserweight title.
yeah, we
That
lost
was
that.
going to be a good one. We lost that one because Glowacki got the COVID, but Okoli, they're talking about throwing somebody at him for the world title. They're trying to find a replacement opponent. They might throw me Calcia Slock, who's that dude's a full package. He just fought actually this past weekend, but they're already talking about him fighting again next weekend. So
What do you feel
we'll
about that?
see. We'll
What do you
see.
feel about that? Fighting the weekend before and fighting.
Well, he fought 6 rounds. He came out, with no injuries. He dominated the dude, stopped him on a body shot. So, I
It should
mean,
be fine.
Yeah.
you're already fully trained. If you can pull it off, I mean, shit. I
Right,
mean,
right.
why not? I mean, if you're
It's a
if you're
big
feeling good,
opportunity too.
yeah. Oh yeah, it's a world title, right? So you never know, man. But Okoli's a big, long guy. He's a tall guy for a cruiserweight. So we'll see. But he's gonna fight on the undercard. But my boy in the main event, Anthony Joshua, like one of my favorite fighters right here.
Uh
Like this guy. He's
To
making a
this
mandatory
day.
defense against
huh.
Kubrat Pulev. This should be, Joshua, he should dominate Pulev. He should. And then hopefully Tyson Fury next year, second half of
That's
the year,
ain't
maybe.
happening.
But I mean, Joshua, my number 2 heavyweight in the world right now, he has 3 of the 4 belts. Very, very talented, but we got to see after the Andy Ruiz, split there where he came back and beat him, but got knocked out the first time. We got to see how dedicated he is. I think he's going to dominate Pulev, stop him.
Uh-huh.
Pulev's 38. He fought for a world title before against Vladimir Klitschko, got destroyed in that fight. And
He
you
did.
know, but he's beaten some decent fighters though. I mean, Pulev has beaten some decent heavyweights over the years. He just, you know, it's what was it? Lennox Lewis used to say he's a B class fighter. I'm an A class fighter. So that that's the way I see this one. You know, Anthony Joshua's A class. He's knocked out Vladimir Klitschko. He's beaten a lot of good heavyweights. I think he's going to knock out Pulev. I got it. If it goes to the 8th, 9th round, then Joshua's disappointed me. He should knock him out quicker than that. So,
What do you think, Vaughn? How do you think it's going to turn out?
So, you of course, like you got Anthony Joshua, unified heavyweight champion, 2-time unified heavyweight champion. I mean, AJ's a really good fighter, really talented heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? And he's got a pretty good sparkling. He got a pretty damn good resume at the heavyweight division for right now. And I think Anthony Joshua is going to beat Pulev. I think he'll get him out of there probably the 9th round because it takes some time to break down Pulev. I think 9th round stoppage. You know what I'm saying? But AJ got to show that instinct when he's got to show that instinct again. That's what I want to see from AJ. I
Well,
want him to box smart and fight smart, but I want to see that AJ instinct that I'm about to get you the fuck out of here.
well, since you both got Joshua winning, what's his 2021 looking like?
You want to go first, or you want me to go?
you can go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Joshua's 2021 looking like this. So if he beats Pulev, you know what I'm saying? Because boxing, especially heavyweight boxing, anything can happen. But
Right.
me and True Guy AJ, but he's gonna more than likely. He said it on ESPN. I seen it in an interview. He's gonna fight Alexander Usyk next.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's gonna fight Alexander Usyk. Him and Usyk gonna fight for the WBO title because Usyk's the mandatory because he beat Derek Chisora. So that's next for AJ, and then probably like True said, maybe the end of 2021, maybe the beginning of 2022, if Tyson Fury beats Deontay Wilder, because I think they're gonna fight again, or Tyson Fury somebody else, then yeah, we could see them two going at it, Tyson Fury and AJ.
Okay. What
hmm
about you? What about you, True? What do you see happening in 2021 for Joshua?
Yeah, I mean, same thing. He's got in order to hold on to all three of the belts and have a shot at undisputed against Tyson
Yeah.
Fury, he has to fight Usyk. And don't sleep on Usyk if that fight happens. Usyk is very good. And
Okay.
He's the undisputed cruiserweight, or he was the undisputed cruiserweight champion. He's
Yes, he
undefeated.
was.
He won the World Boxing Super Series
Slept on
and
Bellew.
oh yeah. He's very talented, very good, former gold medalist. You know, I like him a lot, but I think Joshua, because of his size, can beat him. And if he
Yeah.
does, you know, then he basically gets the winner of Wilder and Fury. You know, I
Yeah,
mean, he
pretty
you
much.
know, and those are the fights. I mean, damn, we've been waiting to see Wilder and Joshua even before the Fury fights
I
even
know.
happened. So,
For
Well,
real.
you
I'm glad
know,
you said
yeah,
that though. So
yeah.
who's a better matchup, or who's a better opponent for Wilder to do what he does? Is it Fury or is it Joshua?
Probably
Joshua.
Joshua.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, so
Joshua.
yeah.
Fury's he's just that much throws him off his game, huh?
Yeah. I'm a diehard Deontay Wilder. I'm a Deontay Wilder fanboy. I've said it on videos and everything. Fury's style, man, and his size and his length and his IQ, it's giving my boy problems. I
Right.
just think AJ a better matchup for than
Okay. That's
yeah.
fair. What do you think, Mike? What are you thinking about Fury? What do you think about Fury that just throws Wilder off so much?
Um, yeah, I mean, Fury just has that awkward style, and in order to win, it's almost a Mayweather S type thing. He doesn't care if he looks bad to get the
Mm-hmm.
W, you know.
Tyson
And
don't give a shit.
yeah, no, and that's not talking shit. I mean, Mayweather just, you know,
No,
hey,
I didn't say talking shit.
as
I
long as
said
I get
Tyson
the
don't.
win, it is because if you go
I said
back
Tyson don't give a shit. That's what I said.
when he beat Vladimir Klitschko, I mean, that was one of the ugliest fights I've ever seen. But you know, Klitschko was afraid to throw,
Mm-hmm.
and it was almost the first 7 rounds of Lopez and Lomachenko. You had a guy who been champion for almost a decade that was afraid to throw punches, you know,
Right.
and
Right.
that was Klitschko, and Fury just totally negated Klitschko's style, you know, with his ability
Yeah.
to move and
Mm-hmm.
everything. And that's what makes Fury so dangerous is he's so big
And he
and he
break.
can box. Yeah, he can box so well. But then, I mean, I called it when he fought Wilder. I said if Fury doesn't allow Wilder to get long with his punches and step
Mm-hmm.
into his punches, then
he's
he
gonna
can beat
put it
him,
on.
and he whipped Wilder's ass. I don't
Right.
care how many excuses Wilder has for that one. I mean, he got his
Yeah.
ass whipped.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
That's another. It's funny because you said that because that was one fight that I can remember recently where I'm thinking this corner needs to stop the fight, man. Because I
And
thought he was going to end up getting
He
hurt.
got beat
And
up.
then the thing with Tyson Fury did well against Deontay Wilder, man. And like, it's hard for me to admit this, but I gotta admit it. What Tyson Fury does well, he breaks Deontay Wilder's rhythm because he knows Wilder fights long, and Wilder needs to set his feet in order to throw those long punches. And Fury was just good at breaking his rhythm. You never letting him set his feet, move, come forward, stick into him. You know what I'm saying? Step outside. Like, watch the first round of the second fight. Wilder was gassed after the first round because he never let him set his feet and kept that jab in his face. And that's just, I just feel like,
he got inside the punches. And that's the thing. When you allow Wilder to extend because he has just dynamite in his hands, especially his right hand. I mean,
you got to break his rhythm. You can't let him set his feet.
And that's the thing. I don't know if Joshua can do that. I mean, he has the skill. He has the skill, but is he going to be dedicated enough if him and Wilder ever match up to box until the knockout comes?
Yeah, stick to boxing. Yeah, that's
and Wilder, I got to give him his credit, man. I really do. He is the first guy, Ray, in any division in my whole life of boxing where I have said this. He doesn't have to know how to box because he hits so hard that if you can finish 12 rounds with this guy, then that's a victory in itself right there. Because this dude is gonna catch you eventually, and man, that's why Tyson Fury is so good. Is he learned from the first fight when he almost got knocked out? He learned from that. He studied, and his IQ is on point, man. That Tyson Fury
first fight.
Okay.
Those are the big three. Those are the big three, and the heavyweight division is back right there. So
go. Sorry.
Yeah, exciting, man. Exciting. I can't wait. I can't wait for those three to fight.
Yeah, go ahead, Ray.
Well, to that Wilder first fight, Wilder and Fury, would you be okay with giving that fight to Fury even with the 2 knockdowns?
Oh, Fury won. So
yeah,
Ray, we what's they talking about this too? I gave it a draw.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like, can you be comfortable giving the fight away when the guy got?
Or I give it a draw, or you gave it. I gave it a draw, or I gave it to Fury. 1 round.
It's funny because to see a guy get knocked down twice, but the guy was getting dominated. Like, I thought Fury won that fight, but it's like,
watch that fight.
I've always wondered that,
Fury won 9 rounds at least. I think Vaughn is such a fan. He gave a couple extra rounds to his boy Wilder.
We just gonna cross this out right here.
I did it with
Stevie Wonder. I didn't see that round.
Nah, that's good.
I think glad I wasn't there. I would have knocked one of those papers down. Like, a fan falls on the table. I'm like, I'm sorry. Drinks would have been all over the papers.
Let's put it this way, Ray. On a serious note, me and Vaughn were talking about this the other day. There's no way that Wilder should have won. Is the point? I think a draw.
No, I didn't think Wilder won that fight though.
Yeah,
I didn't. Even as a Wilder fanboy, I didn't think he won that fight.
Yeah, I didn't think he won either. It disappointed me. He disappointed me. Like I said, I still think he needs to learn to box. You know what I mean? I think to better him. That's my opinion. I said it. You know what I mean? Like I also think what's his name? Davis, Mayweather's boy. I think he was taking a lot off the chin the last fight. You know what I mean? I think if he's worked on his defense a little bit more, you know what I mean? I mean, that's just little things I see. You know what I mean? But if it's working and you're winning, I can't say that. And I'm not a boxer, so it's like one of those things. But yeah, I feel like he should Wilder should box more. I think he'd do himself a service if he did.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Well, I think that's it, guys. You guys got anything else you wanted to touch on before we get off, man?
Oh yeah, man. So remember last night at the fight? Remember when Earl Spence was like yelling something to the crowd?
Okay.
Yeah, I think Danny's people were getting into it with somebody. That's why I think he was telling the crowd to calm down because that's his crowd,
Yeah, but you know what else happened? I heard.
No.
So I forgot what boxer it was. Steve Adams or something like that. He was with Bud.
Okay.
And he set it up on Fight Hype that some of like Terrence Crawford, Keith Thurman not Keith Thurman, old Spence fans, they tried to get at him and Bud.
Oh wow.
Yeah, some Earl Spence fans. He said they tried it. He was like, I thought we was really gonna have to throw down with these cats.
Wow. So are Spence and Crawford, are they on do they have any bad blood, or it's just we're over
it's
here?
just fans.
Okay.
Ray put it this way: the water's boiling.
Yeah, it's hot.
It's hot because they want to see it so bad. And what I like about them is it's kind of that subtle shit talking.
Right.
It's very passive aggressive. Bud and Earl very passive aggressive.
It's not like it's not a Mayweather-esque type shit talk. It's
not everything is Mayweather, huh?
Oh, well, I mean,
I like Muhammad Ali
to talk bar on a lot of things. So but no, I mean it's almost borderline mad respect, but they do throw their little dingers in there.
Yeah, their little jabs.
So, yeah. So but I think it's really, it's really because they both believe they're the best, and they know they're the best. And
they both dogs, man.
And Terrence Crawford can say all he wants. I don't need Errol Spence. Shut up. Yeah, you do. You do.
Yeah, you do.
Bud needs to shut up and stop saying that, because he absolutely needs Errol Spence, and he needs a few other guys in the PBC to really set his legacy. So yeah, but
yeah. And then Bud, and Bud is the thing is Bud. When he said that, I was like, Bud, come on. And then Earl Spence last night was like, Earl made some comments, but I'm like, Bud and Earl, y'all both need each other. Like, stop it, fellas.
Right.
Y'all both, y'all legacies are nice. Y'all both got good legacies, but this is the type of fight that take y'all to that stratosphere that y'all want to be. Y'all want to be remembered with Tommy Hearns, Roberto Duran, the Floyd Mayweathers, the Oscar De La Hoyas, the Felix Trinidad, the Chavez's, the Whitakers of the world. You got to take that risk. And that's all I'm going to leave it at with Bud and Errol. Take the risk, fellas.
Late 2021, man. Just like you guys said, look for that, man.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, True? You got anything you want to touch on?
Nah, man, that's pretty much it. I mean, everybody don't forget Canelo, Callum Smith on the 19th.
Oh, yeah. No doubt. Yeah. We can't forget that.
And don't forget AJ.
That's a friendly reminder, I mean, and then AJ is the real deal, weekend. Man. He's one of my top 12 boxers that you have to. He's one of my top 12 boxers that you have to watch. I have a list. I'll give them at the end of the year of that. These are the must-watch guys. It's not just a pound-for-pound list. These are must-watch fighters, and AJ's one of them. AJ, people don't give him enough respect for the crowds that he draws in. But this dude,
for the crowds
not in the United States, bro. He doesn't get the love. He gets the Lennox Lewis.
Well, they do that. That's how they all. You know how America and Britain is. They slack each other off. That's how American.
No. I got it. I'm saying worldwide, he's huge. What I'm saying is the U.S. He don't get
they
the
try
love
to slack him off.
Right.
Yeah, he don't get the love that he should get.
Lennox treatment, baby.
Yeah, he gets the Lennox treatment. He does, and that's why I say. I mean, I really can't wait to watch an AJ fight. It real deal. He's a great heavyweight. 3 of the 4 belts, Ray. People sleep on that because Fury's so good. He has 3 of the 4 titles, bro. That's huge.
Well, you had told me that before, and I think we talked about it with Joshua. Like, Joshua's not a household name out here. You know what I mean? It's just, and I think you told me that
he's being from England.
Yeah, he's an A guy. You know what I mean? But it's
and America tends to have this bias towards UK fighters. I'm not gonna lie.
He's probably more known now for being knocked out by some fat Mexican. So
I know. Then he is in America. Then he for real. Then he is known for his accomplishments in America, though.
But no doubt. Yeah. So, but definitely got to look at it. We got again, still busy month of boxing, man. It should be good. We'll be back next Sunday. I appreciate you, brothers. Spitting your knowledge. Plug your. Let's do a little outro. Mike, plug your YouTube, and then we'll go on Yvonne after that.
Okay, True Boxing, TRU Boxing, and then Instagram, TRU_boxing.
Okay. All right, Vaughn.
All right. Vaughn Blues Boxing, so VON, but Blue BLEU. BLEU once again for Blue Boxing. Vaughn Blue Boxing. You funny.
Apostrophe S.
And check me out, man. If you just want to get some boxing time, check out my boy True Boxing. And man.
Okay. Well, appreciate it, guys. This is Ray Riz. It's True Standing. I'm about to call you out to your YouTube. Standing 8 Count Podcast. We will be back next week. And it's gonna be a good month, y'all. So y'all take care.